Hey, welcome to So Awkward. I'm Don.
I'm Jester.
And this is Pepper. And it's Top 10 Tuesday.
I don't know what this is.
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying hi.
What are we doing today?
Top 10 TV characters.
This was a tough one. I could have done top 100 TV characters.
Yeah, I could have done a lot more.
Anyway, let's get right into it. Forget about these dogs.
They're so cute.
They're very cute.
This one has a pink speckled nose.
This is Bitsy. That's going to be annoying.
That's going to be annoying.
My number 10, Jack Bauer from 24. Kiefer Sutherland. I love 24. I never actually watched the last season because it kind of went on a little too long. But Jack Bauer is a total badass.
Was that on for 7 seasons?
At least.
Okay.
Possibly more. And then I think then they did some miniseries, and apparently, or gossip is, they're making a movie. Which is, I guess, will be 24 hours long. Died at one point and came back to life.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, they were torturing him and then he died, but then they shocked him and he came back to life or something like that. I don't even remember. But
so it's not like Buffy coming back to life.
No, it wasn't like they had to do some seance and bring him back to life. Like he died and then they literally did an operation and brought him back to life. Interesting character. Who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Paul Buckman from Mad About You.
Is that Paul Reiser?
Yeah.
Paul Reiser's name on the show was Paul?
Yeah. I love the way Paul talks on the show. And maybe that's just the way Paul Reiser talks, so maybe it should just be Paul Reiser.
Things to do. That's my Paul Reiser. When we were kids, Paul Reiser, before he became an actor, he was like a stand-up comedian, like a super popular stand-up comedian. And me and my siblings used to watch his HBO specials all the time. One of his specials, Things to Do. Do you have more?
I don't know. I just like the way Paul talks.
He talks. He's got great delivery.
Paul Buckman would always, if you were listing things, he'd start out. I don't remember if he started with a number or a letter, but either way, it would be number 1, and then he'd switch and he'd say and B. And I don't know why, but that was so funny to me.
That's funny. He's a funny guy. Remember when he was the bad guy in Aliens?
Yeah.
Weird.
But
he was great. My number 9 is Blackadder. Edmund Blackadder. Rowan Atkinson. From the BBC comedy Blackadder. Have you ever seen Blackadder?
No,
It's
but
funny.
I'm told that I should watch it.
I don't know if you should watch it.
I was told that I would think it was funny.
I think it's funny. You might think it's funny. And each season is a different era in the span of this family that's called Blackadder. But it's the same cast for the most part. Like Rowan Atkinson always plays Blackadder, but it's like in the Renaissance, Blackadder in the Dark Ages. The last season is Blackadder in World War I. It's just his descendants. And then they did a special that takes place in the future. But
Was that any good?
Yeah, super. They're all funny.
Okay.
They're all funny. It's one of the funniest shows ever.
My number 9 is Lucy Ricardo.
From I Love Lucy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that need more? She's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the show's iconic. Do you want to hear my impression of Lucy?
Yeah.
Wah! My number 8 is a tie. It's Mulder and Scully.
Yes.
I don't feel like I need to say anything more.
No. My number 8 is Dorothy Zbornak.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I don't know why she's not number 1 on both of our lists. We should do a top 10 Golden Girls characters list.
Let's do it.
That'll be next month.
Okay.
Where's your shirt?
I know. Well, I was dressed as Clark Kent today. No, really.
My number 7 is Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Hey.
Yeah. She's She's super cool, interesting, multifaceted character. You never know what she's gonna do. She's a total badass. Buffy.
Buffy. So my number 7 is also a tie.
Okay.
And I think it's just kind of like Mulder and Scully. They just go together. Like, it's really hard to have one without the other.
Lenny and Swiggy.
No.
Laverne and Shirley.
No. Karen Walker and Jack McFarland from Will and Grace. It started out as just Karen Walker, because if I have to pick between the two of them, I like Karen more. But their chemistry was so good together that I couldn't separate them.
I've never seen it. My number 6 is a tie. Captain Kirk, Picard, and Sisko. The 3 best Star Trek captains. I didn't want to pick a favorite. There's also Janeway from Voyager and Archer from Enterprise. But Kirk, Picard, and Sisko, for me, are the holy trinity of Star Trek captains. They're all great in their own way. Who's the best? I don't know. But if you put a gun to my head...
Oh, and my number 6 is Clark Griffin from The 100. Clark, to me, just was so strong. And no matter what, she got through it. And she was always looking out for her people and trying to do what was best. And she's just such a strong character. But then the show went to hell.
Right.
But Clark is still great.
I haven't seen the show, and I will
I
not
don't
see
watch
it because...
I don't want you to watch it.
Yeah, I won't. My number 5, this is a good one. Homer Simpson.
Yes.
The character that really encapsulates the Simpsons as a whole is Homer. He's the hero, he's the villain. He just is the Simpsons.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick the funniest, I might say Moe. But I'm not putting...
Moe is great.
Moe is great, but Moe is great in limited. Like, I could watch...
Right.
Like, Homer can be in every scene, and Homer never gets old. Disco Stew gets old.
Yeah.
Dr. Hibbert gets old. But Homer is always funny.
I didn't include cartoon characters.
Homer's not a cartoon character.
Yeah, I guess he is. I thought it should be real people.
Well, it's a wild card.
Okay. My number 5 is Gabrielle from Xena.
Oh, good pick. Because I've been watching Xena. I need to pick up the pace on it because it's been a while. But because Gabrielle, she's not your typical sidekick. I'm not even sure if she is a sidekick.
Gabrielle is not a sidekick.
I think she starts out as a sidekick, but she becomes...
She absolutely starts out as the sidekick. And it's even a joke.
Right.
But I think she really becomes her own character.
The early episodes are hard to watch.
Yes.
A lot of it is because they didn't know what to do with Gabrielle.
Yeah. In fact, I think when I watch the show, I usually just skip season 1.
I also really like Joxer,
Joxer.
but he's not on my list.
He's not on mine either.
My number 4 is Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap. Scott Bakula. You ever seen Quantum Leap?
Mm-mm.
That's great. He's a part of this time travel experiment where something goes wrong, so the whole premise of the show is he leaps into people that time or God or somebody they never say and they never know wants to fix. Like some people have a crux, like a problem in their life where the rest of their life goes to hell because of this one instant. And Sam Beckett leaps into their life and he fixes it. He fixes their life.
Can someone do that for me? Can
I
that
think
be like real life?
I think about that all the time. Like, you know how many times I think, I wish Sam Beckett would just leap into my body and fix things for me.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just, I know it sounds silly, but it's such a good show.
That doesn't sound silly.
You should-
That sounds so good that I want it to be reality. My number 4 is Buffy Summers.
Good choice.
We've already talked about her.
Yeah, but you didn't.
She's a badass.
She's a badass. She could probably beat Jack Bauer in a fight. But I don't know. My number 3 is Mr. Spock from Star Trek. I've been compared to Mr. Spock because I think I'm a very logical, some people might say cold individual, but at heart I really do care, and I'm thoughtful, but I've always tried to be like Spock, but he's a lot smarter and stronger and handsomer and more charismatic. He's a better director. That's my number 3, Mr. Spock.
Okay. My number 3 is Willow Rosenberg.
Interesting.
You tried to be like Spock, and growing up I tried to be like Willow.
And it didn't work out for either of us.
No.
I turned into Willow, you turned into Spock, right?
I wanted to be an intelligent, quirky person.
You're an intelligent, quirky person.
No.
Comment down below if you think she's an intelligent, quirky person.
Maybe quirky, but...
I think Willow is one of those characters who, and this is rare on TV, who, if you watch the first few seasons and then skip to the last few seasons, unrecognizable. Because she changes so much.
She changes a lot.
I mean, obviously you recognize Allison Hannigan, but that's something that you don't see. Maybe it's a credit to Joss Whedon, but even on his shows, I mean, it's part of TV. You keep characters consistent, whereas she completely grows as a character.
She is, and
which is great.
It's great. Some of it I don't agree with, but for the most part, I love to see her character development.
My number 2, this is going to seem weird, but I ranked my number 3 and my number 2 very deliberately.
Okay.
My number 2 is Mr. Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. As characters, I would probably pick Mr. Spock as the better character, but there's so much about Mr. Spock's character that was in the movies. Because Star Trek, the original series, was only on for 3 seasons, and then they had 6 movies. Whereas Star Trek The Next Generation was on for 7 seasons, and then they had 4 movies. So I'm giving the nod to Data as the better TV character.
Okay.
Data's more lovable. He's funner. He's a great character. He also has a really good arc. He's an android who has no emotions, but over the course of the series, all he wants to do is to become more human. He's your basic Pinocchio story. Let me say that again. He's your basic Pinocchio story. As a kid, I was a nerd. Not too many friends. And I think a lot of Star Trek fans, Trekkies, would say one of the reasons they love Star Trek is because it fills some void in their life. Like the characters called them. It's misfits, and it's this presentation of the future where everybody gets along and everybody has a place. So I always just, as a kid, I responded to Data just because I felt like Data. And I thought, like, well, if I was in the future, Data would be my friend. I'm editing all that out because that's just pathetic.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I gave one of my speeches in public speaking in college was on Buffy, and I basically said what you said, is that I didn't have friends and real relationships, and I watched Buffy so much because of how they fit together, and seeing them made me feel like I was a part of something.
The Scooby Gang.
Yeah, I get it.
That's because you're quirky and intelligent.
My number 2 is Lexa.
Oh. That's, I'm not going to say a wild card, but she's probably the newest character on any of our lists.
Yeah.
That's a current character. No, she's not, because she's dead.
She's dead.
Spoiler. But.
Yeah, right. I haven't watched The 100 for very long. I didn't watch it when it started. I binge watched it and then I didn't get to make it very long while it was live. But in the time that I watched her and she was on screen, I have never felt more comfortable about who I am.
I'm sorry she died.
Yeah, me too.
My number one, and there was never any question, Lieutenant Columbo from Columbo. Great show. It's just Peter Falk as Columbo. I love 70s detective shows, and this Columbo's the best. Columbo, everybody, excuse me, pardon me. That's my Columbo impression. I just want one more thing. Like, he's this short, unassuming guy in this, rumpled raincoat, and the murderers are always like these rich, sophisticated, intelligent people, and they always dismiss Columbo because he's this little, Italian low-class guy smoking a cigar, but he always wins because Columbo is always smarter than everybody. Columbo, the greatest TV character of all time, perhaps the greatest character of all time.
Wow.
Yep. Better than Jean Valjean, better than Jesus, better than Odysseus, better than Spock. But not better than...
Xena.
Good choice.
She was my superhero growing up.
She's a superhero. She's definitely a superhero. Xena, who beat Julius Caesar,
Yep.
right? I think Columbo's smarter, but Xena could beat him up. Xena might be smarter. Xena's pretty smart.
Xena's pretty clever.
Yeah. So that was our top 10 TV characters.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Now, you guys comment with your top 10 TV characters.
Yeah, you comment with your top 10 TV characters and talk about how quirky and intelligent Jester is.
We don't need to talk about that.
Oh, and I have one more question. Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we? This is weird.
I don't have a dog.
Bitsy!
Bitsy! She's coming. Maybe.
Bitsy!
Will Bitsy sit with me?
Whoa!